Our game of the week this week is also a traditional great rivalry. The Crown Point Bulldogs and the Maryville Pirates. Teeing it up again tomorrow night at Demery Stadium.
Right.
And Wayne, it's such a big game that our guy T-Dub was out getting ready to size this one up.
How even has the Crown Point Maryville rivalry been the past couple of years? Well, during the regular season matchups, it was Maryville that got the victories, but in the playoffs, Crown Point got revenge both seasons. We had a chance to talk to both coaches about the latest matchup between these two teams. And first off, you're a 1-1 football team, even though you didn't bring anybody back on offense from the year before. How happy are you as a coach right now?
You know, I think there's a whole lot of growth yet to work on, and and I think these guys, their attitude's great, and they're willing to learn and fight through some of and grind. And pretty pleased so far.
The experience continues on Friday because you got the Maryville Pirates and you kick off the Duneland Conference schedule.
Yeah, Maryville Crown Point's always been a fun game for both communities, I'm sure, and it's always an intense football game. The level of play seems to rise when these two teams meet.
What's your biggest concern about the Pirates?
The Pirates are vastly improved from a year ago. They're very athletic and fast on both sides of the ball, and and that's something that we haven't seen yet this season. And so far, we're in our preparation. We're trying to simulate that, but it's a challenge.
They were a one-win team last year, but they beat Andrean to kick off the season, played Penn as tough as you could play Penn, so that's going to be a tough opponent for you.
No question. And, their speed and athleticism on defense is certainly something that we're going to have to deal with offensively for sure.
Let's talk about your offense right now. The kid Pettit playing quarterback for you. How's he developing?
You know what? He's still growing every day, and he's getting better every day. And, it's one of those deals where, especially at that position, there's a lot to it. And, so far, we're pleased with his progress.
And you have the kid, Scott Mills, who had a big game against Highland last week, 90-plus yards. I know he's got to be a big plus for you.
Scotty's been in the program for 4 years now, and, we expect big things from Scotty and, his senior leadership, especially on that side of the football.
Considering the inexperience, are they where you want them to be right now?
I think every day you try to get better, and in terms of where we want them to be as coaches, we always have high expectations, and so you just keep grinding and hope to improve and get better every day. Substantially better every day, and with the young group, you hope to get that.
And I know every time we talk to you, we got to talk about the defense because they always seem to play well for you. How did this defense measure up to past ones you've coached?
This is one we're leaning on, heavily this year, with the youth and experience on the offensive side. And I think they've risen to the challenge, and we're really pleased with their progress this year.
The matchup against Penn last Friday, your thoughts on how your team played?
You know what, there was a lot of good. We outgained them by about 100 yards. Our defense did a great job of limiting their plays on the run. We held them to under 3 yards a carry. For us to be in the game, with the mistakes that we had and only lose 28-16, I think it shows the potential that we have, and it's a good measuring stick for us.
Speaking of quality teams, Crown Point is next on your schedule. What's your biggest concern about the Bulldogs?
Right now this week we're worried about ourselves and just fixing our mistakes, and we think if we do that, then we have a chance to be a pretty dang good football team.
Your defense will be tested because Crown Point had a good rushing game against Highland last weekend.
Definitely. Luckily for us, our rushing defense is the strength of our defense. We've got a really good defensive line, spearheaded by Justin Ramsey and a few others. So, we'll be ready, but we know that they want to run the football and establish the ground game. Not sure what the weather's going to be like Friday. Looks like there's a chance of some rain. So obviously us, slowing down the run game is going to be a huge key.
Let's talk about the Ramsey kid. He apparently has been impressive the past 2 games.
He's the leader of our defensive line unit. He's committed to Ball State, so he's got that going for him. But he's not satisfied. He wants to lead our defense and really just be a force inside, along with the other defensive linemen and Kenneth Grant and Drew Bailey and Anthony Outlaw, and he's a leader of what probably is our best unit, our defensive line.
Now, we've talked about the defense. Let's go on the other side of the ball. Are you still going to go with the 2-quarterback system?
Yeah, you know what? They've pretty much shared the reps. Peter Rodriguez is more of a runner. Eric Whitehead's more of a thrower. And that's kind of the direction that we've gone so far this year. And neither of them have distanced themselves from one another, and they're very different. So they cause the defense to have a little bit more they have to prepare for. With the variety that they are.
To me, the key is whether or not the Maryville defense could stop the Crown Point running game, which really had a great matchup against the Trojans of Highland last weekend. Which makes me ask this question. Joe and Wayne, who you got?
Well, as a Maryville alum, it was a very long offseason.
Yes, it was.
And I will say this, I've been, pleasingly surprised by the start through 2 weeks. They look like a vastly improved football team, but they really cannot let their momentum get stopped tomorrow night.
Right. I think the two keys here for Crown Point is, number one, you must try to control, you're not going to stop Justin Ramsey from getting to the quarterback or pressuring the quarterback. Crown Point must do that. And then I think number two, Will Pettit cannot throw picks. The defensive secondary for Maryville is very quick and very, very good.
It's been a rough start for the Bulldogs. I know it's been because my Crown Point insider, I have not heard from him.
Oh, really?
So he's not talking any smack at all. All right, here's the matchup. The Bulldogs and the Pirates. Great rivalry game. Will Maryville's defense be able to put the kibosh on Crown Point's running game? That could get Maryville the ball back and spell doom for the Bulldogs. A win tomorrow night could make Crown Point's season almost.
Oh,
I think.
definitely, because Crown Point has a very good defense right now. If they can pressure Eric Whitehead into passing the ball, and if Eric is not really accurate because of that pressure, Crown Point could steal this one.
I just want to say, Tommy was on his game.
Yes, he was.
This week for week 3.
Yes, he was.
It took him a little while to get rolling, but he was on his game. I mean, he's tough battering those coaches with questions. They're not going to want to see him out there after. That was some tough once-over he's been giving them. All right, I don't know, Wayne. I think you picked the Pirates, of course, the favorite.
Well, we'll have to go to Wayne's World to see.
No, we'll go right now.
Oh, are we? Oh, there it is. Okay.
And I can tell you that
I did. I think that Maryville's speed and that defensive line, is going to be tough.
And I agree. I've got no red check mark for you there, but I will have some coming up with the week.